From the 1960s onwards, we've been able to look at the Earth from space. And in those early years, the first time we did this, it was an astronaut putting a camera through the window of some tiny, fragile craft floating around the Earth. And we began to realise that the Earth itself was a fragile craft. And it was a fragile craft without any escape routes. So that was the first time we really saw that, and I think the first time people really began to appreciate it. Now today, we have an unparalleled power to observe what's going on. We have hundreds, probably, of satellites in space, some we know about, some we may not know about. They're observing both how humanity has etched its imprint on the surface of the Earth. On the Earth, we could say on the Earth, air, fire and water, if you like. Those are four areas which certainly humans have affected. And we've been able to use that power, that observation power, for predictive purposes, not only in weather forecasting, but in forecasting things like where will a fire spread? What is agriculture doing to the surface of the Earth? And how is the Earth actually changing year on year? Because we're now beginning to build up a picture of that. So not only can we look at the beauty of the Earth from space, and actually we can look at the things that people have done to it, both intentionally, some of which are quite funny actually, and also unintentionally by accident. Looking at the Earth from space, I think for the first time we can see it as a system. We can see these great whirls of cloud going round, and we can see ocean currents with particular chemistry, particular colours moving around the surface of the Earth at global scale. We can also see people, the impact of people, at scales that go down to perhaps even a metre or so, but also at the scale of hundreds of miles. Some of that shows things that are problematic, and the ability of satellites to look at that is, of course, very beneficial. But at the back of our minds, we might also have just tiny niggling questions. Is it always good to be looking at the Earth from space? Does it perhaps divert attention from genuine problems at smaller scale? It's certainly very expensive. Could the money be better spent, perhaps? Or is it lulling us, in some cases, into a false sense of security?